And Nick Finale here in person as well. So guys, if you just want to hear from Woody, they're calling you as well. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, Will. We'll start with you guys there. Nick, take it away.
Thanks, Coach. What's your assessment, your take on this match? It seemed like a tale of two halves.
Yeah, it's tale of two halves because of the goals scored. But I think first and foremost is a good point for us to bring back home 1 point. I said this to the boys. I think I love the character that they have, that they show. They play away from home with personality, but we didn't play our game. This is the one thing that we need to improve because I think we have a lot more in ourselves. And I understand that we are growing as a team, we are growing as a club. And therefore, when you are in front, you can think that you've got something to lose. You know, this feeling of we have to go. But in the end, if you live your life, if you live even your football games with the fear of losing what you have, you ended up losing it anyway. So I think that the challenge we have, and I say this to the boys, is also to play our game, because I think we have a lot more football in us. And this is the one thing I didn't like. But in the end, I feel very positive with the character that the boys showed. And I feel very positive with the way they started the game, with the fact that they scored a goal. We could have won it in the end as well. And we could have won it in the end. But it's a road that we're going through. It's a road we're going through. And I don't think we deserve to win tonight, even if we were 2-0 up. And that tells that we have a lot of football into us to move forward. I think our ceiling is still high. And this is the one thing that keeps me very hopeful and positive.
Can you talk a little bit about getting Petty back and Rosbeck back and what they were able to do tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Enzo, you saw he fought really hard, and defensively, I thought that the first half we played really well. We started with the strikers. He had a big chance to score the 3-1 after we conceded when Coronel came out and we nicked the ball in counter-attack. In pressing them high, and then unfortunately he didn't find the goal. That would have been probably could have killed the game, that one. But then I thought that he was getting tired towards the end. And I thought that Patrick could create problems in those moments, which he did. Regarding Camille, I think he came on with his ability, with his personality. It's not easy to come into a game that shift momentum from us leading 2-0, 2-2. And they have now this momentum that they are playing well, because they manipulate the ball really well. They have many players that can hurt you between the lines, Luquinhas, Amaya, Cáceres, and Fernandez. There are many good players, Bezier, Manuel. So it's a tough team to play against. And Camille, I thought he brought his presence and his ability, because he won a couple of difficult balls. I thought we were suffering, especially on the right-hand side, our right-hand side. That's why I decided to play him, because Kerwin was playing well, but it was difficult for him, especially when we started to go a little bit back. We know Kerwin is a little bit more prone to play offensive than defensive. But I thought Camille and also Guzman, these are the three players that they're coming back from the beginning, and I thought it's good. Listen, they put good minutes in the legs in a difficult place against a difficult team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Christian. Just a couple of things.
John.
Ben, obviously, with 2 goals, but just talk about his overall performance tonight.
Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the goals, we know that Ben has a knack for scoring goals.
Yes.
In many different ways. This is his strength, one of his strengths. We know he's a good runner. We know he's a guy that can shoot really well with the right and with the left. And he has a knack also in arriving at the right time in the right place, like he did, for example, against Toronto. And he did it on a number of occasions. He did it also against Seattle. Unfortunately, Carroll touched the ball, but if he doesn't touch, I think he can score the goal again. So his overall performance has been limited by ourselves, by the fact that we didn't play as much as I would have liked, and therefore we couldn't see him when we are in clear possession. We saw him in transition moments, and I think in transition moments Ben can be dangerous if we have the ball, but his overall performance is difficult for me to assess because I would have liked us to keep the ball better.
Also, in the second half, when it was 2-2, obviously with Copetti just coming back from injury, you're gonna protect him and take care of him. He may have not been ready to play the full 90, but taking out Baram and putting in a fool, what was the thinking behind that?
I wanted to change the shape because I knew that they would have had this ability to play through the middle that could really hurt us. I thought that Jan, when he came on, we know that one of the strengths of Jan is aerial game. He can defend crosses really well. So I'd rather concede the ball wide and crosses rather than to be penetrated in the middle. So I thought that to change the shape, to put Harrison inside with the Brandt and Ashley would create more density and for them to make it more difficult to go through us, because I thought that they had this ability with these players that I said that they manipulate the ball really well. So that was the thinking behind it.
Okay. Any questions?
You're welcome.
All right, guys, we'll go to Zoom. Sam?
Coach, thank you very much for talking to us tonight. Hope you're traveling well. Wanted to know, some of the early criticism was that the team took their foot off the gas. Did you feel that way, or do you think that's reductive?
No, I don't think. No, Sam, no. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think the boys took the foot off the gas at all. I think the boys played with a lot of spirit always. This is not what I said, and if this is I want to be clear about that. I really don't think that the boys took off the foot off the gas, not at all. So much so that they fought every ball, and we had more chances to win it us at the end than them. So I don't think at any point they took the foot off the gas. We went a little bit deeper, and when you go deeper against a quality team, things can happen and they can find a play. I would have liked us to play more with the ball, but it's not because we took the foot off the gas. It's that maybe we feel more comfortable to play a certain kind of game, thinking, we are in front and we are gonna get away with the result, which we did not probably with the one that we wanted, given how the game started and how the game was playing out in the first half. But I think that there are no shortcuts. The way I want to play, the way we want to play, not just me, because the boys are, they are completely on board on that. I think that we didn't play our football as much as we would have liked, but not because we put the foot off the gas, not at all. I think the character that they show is great, and the fans should be really, behind those boys because they played with the heart. Listen, to come away from with a point from here is not easy. Yeah, I don't think that many teams will. In the second part of the season. Maybe it happened in the past, but I'm not sure it's going to happen now.
No, I appreciate that.
I might be wrong. I might be wrong, obviously. I don't have the truth in the pocket, but he's a difficult team to play against, I can tell you that.
And then just finally, what did you think of Nathan Burns' performance? Clearly coming back and doing a lot of work to keep the ball out of the box.
Nathan played well. He's in a good moment. He's playing also on the left, which is not his maybe his preferred position, but he does great for us. He defended well in 1v1s. He's a good communicator also on the pitch. He's a fighter, as we know, and he's a player that, talking about character, is one of those guys that always bring character to the team, always bring personality and the fighting spirit. So I thought he played well. He missed a couple of passes, but in transition moments that could have been result in a chance for us, he's totally aware. I saw him on the pitch, and what can you say? He tried his best, and that didn't happen. But overall performance, I'm very happy with the way he played.
Thank you, Coach. Safe travels.
Thank you, son.
All right, we'll go to Steve and then in with Carol.
Hi, Christian.
Hey, Steve.
How important is it to be able to take a draw, in this league? Last year, Charlotte only had 3 the entire season. You've already been able to get 5, and at least 3 of those have been coming from behind. Seattle, you had to do 3 times to earn that point. And those points add up towards the end of the season. So in the competitiveness that is MLS now, how important is it to be able to get a draw instead of a loss?
No, it is very important. First of all, because it's not just the fact that you get 1 point, it's also 2 points that you take from the opposition as well. So it's very important. If anything, I think we have been in the past, we lost the games that we should have drawn at least. I remember last year and a number of those: Orlando at home, Chicago at home, Toronto at home. I mean, I remember many that, and these points, like you said, not only they add up, but they also take away 2 points from the opposition every time. So yeah, very important that, Steve. Very important, because especially how the game was going, you could sense that they could have scored the 3rd one, and that's why I praise the character and also the defensive organization. The boys were ready to defend when they had to defend, and they didn't. Also, we had to take off in an important moment Guzman, that we know in those moments he gives his best to defend when we have to defend deep. But no, I mean, Jan came on really well. It's very, very important, but everybody was working hard defensively. I think that this is one of the things that pleased me the most in tonight's performance, and that's to have this kind of discipline is great. This is not an issue. I said this to the boys, that this is one of the things that pleased me most, but we have to play better with the ball. And I insist on this point, and I will keep drumming that into our boys, because this is the one thing that he leave me with a little bit bitter taste in the mouth tonight. The result is great, the character is great, the defensive performance. Okay, there are 2 moments, but when you don't play and you decide to stay at the back, you can concede. So we need to. I think it's important that a game like that happened. But listen, the point, I accept the point very willingly.
So when you said playing deeper before, you meant deeper on defense.
Sorry?
When you said the team was playing deeper before, you meant deeper in defense?
Yeah, we said we played deeper because we force ourselves to play deeper, Of course, we know it's a team that presses us. We know that this is their style, this is their identity. Red Bull identity is not new. It's not something that they've done this year. It's many, many years that they play with this kind of organization. So it's nothing new. But we also have moments in which we can play our football, and for some reason we didn't. So we have to, even though we know how to do it, we have done it last week against Seattle, so I don't see the difference with doing it. And we have done it also away from home. We have done it in difficult places. I think we even did it in Columbus more, even though we went down 3-0, but in the first half, I thought that we played a lot more with the ball that we did tonight.
Yeah, and I thought Charlotte, early, Red Bull were not as strong. Of course, they hit a few people from behind early on to test Guzman, among others. But the second half, they came out as a much regenerated team, with a much more greater sense of purpose. Yeah. But the last thing I wanted to ask is, how close do you think Guzman is now to being the player that he was last year? I mean, coming off his time off, It's not easy to do, both physically and mentally, to get there. How
No.
close do you think he is?
I know it's difficult to say how many minutes. I think he's getting closer. We need to give him time. We know that in order to get your form, you need to play. I thought that he did well. He had one moment in which he didn't slide in the way that we want, and then you get punished at this level. Is when he got his yellow card. But then his experience was important because he was, you know. When you play with a yellow card and you are not 100%, it's difficult if you are not experienced to survive in this environment, which he did until then. He had no more legs. I think he's getting closer but we have to give him time, like we had to give him time to Ashley, like we had to give him time to Caleb. So game by game, Steve.
Thank you. Anybody going to get married before Montreal, or are you going to have them renew their vows?
I open on the 10. Yeah, exactly. If they have the same kind of output, I will celebrate the marriage personally.
Va bene. Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm good, you guys. Y'all covered everything. Thank you so much. Safe
Right.
travels.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Carol.
Thank you, Christian.
Appreciate it.